start an amazing TV production company doing commercials. We did that commercial and then didn't get another commercial
For a while.
for
A
a
long
long time.
while.
So I had to go back and look for work.
For work, okay.
And that was when I now ran into doing Osa Sonny Adun.
Okay.
And I started working at DBN.
At DBN, yes. That's true.
In fact, the interview for that job was myself and Sheye Kennedy.
Really?
Yes. Sheye Kennedy looked dapper that day. If you see the suits that he wore, the shoes, I said, lie, I cannot get this job with this guy looking like this. But we did that interview together. I think he had just come back from England or something.
England too.
Yes. And I got the job. But I remember it was me and Sheye. We sat down to each other. We sat down next to each other.
Wow.
So I worked with Osa.
Yeah.
Osa was the one that really opened up my eyes.
Good.
He gave me a lot of responsibility. And he gave me a lot of opportunity. I was in charge of production. I was able to travel to around the world. Osa paid for it.
Yeah.
I'll go to NAB. I'll go to IBC.
Yeah.
I'll go to Cannes. All those places. I think he had a lot of faith in me.
Yeah.
And I was also able to challenge him in terms of, intellectually and in terms of vision and direction and everything. And I think he liked that.
Yeah.
Because he had just come back from America and had set up DBN. He had DAS network and everything.
Yes.
And we got on really well. And also had a lot of arguments. But what was important was that it was somebody that was always able to accommodate and listen. And if you could come with a superior argument, even if it will go with you. So he gave me that opportunity.
Not a lot of employers do that.
He gave me that opportunity, and I traveled and I saw and I said, this is it. This is where I want to be. I became passionate about it. I'll read everything. I'll go anything concerning media, broadcast, equipment. I wanted to be there.
You were just like a sponge.
Yeah, just taking it all in.
Yeah.
And I worked with him for, I think it was about 3 years. And then the American Embassy came along and offered me an opportunity that I couldn't resist.
What was that opportunity?
They offered me a job at the United States Information Service.
Service, okay.
Yeah, as the audiovisual manager.
Oh, that's on Broad Street, USIS.
Yes, when, I think the director then was a guy called Bob Lagama.
Okay.
And the director of communication was Carol Wild. And that was where I met the late Livy Ajunoma.
Yeah, Livy Ajunoma, yes.
He worked there.
Yeah,
and there was an amazing house guy, Kabir Dangogo.
Okay, yes, I know that.
You know Kabir Dangogo too, yeah. Yes. So, but what was amazing about it was that was where I really got introduced to technology. Because even as of that time, this would be like about 1987, 86, 87, everything was computerized. And I'd never been exposed to a computer before then.
Computers.
It was a new thing. Everybody also start shouting about, I've got a 286, I've got a 386 computer,
Yes.
I've got a 486.
Yes.
And that was where I got introduced to computers and technology and everything. And I just soaked it all in. And it was the same time too that I started talking to my cousin, Wega Adelaja, about, he was then the managing director at a television company called Nationwide
Television, yes, I remember that.
Which I think was set up with the late Mike Enauro.
Mike Enauro, yes. Yes.
And he was also running it with a guy then called Felix Egbanumo.
Yes.
So we started talking, blah, blah, blah. We're interested, can't continue working for people all our lives. This thing, we know it, let's do it. How are we going to do it? We don't have money. Well, we'll talk. We'll see regularly. I was still at the USIS. He was at Tafawa Baliwa.
Talk about just next
yeah,
door.
so we'll always see it, always talk.
Lunchtime talk.
Yeah, lunchtime, evening, we'll sit down, drink beer, pepper soup. What are we going to do? So after working there for some time, I was approached by an American called Lloyd Weaver.
Oh, Lloyd Weaver. He died recently.
Yes, sir. It is.
Yes.
That's another of my...
Yes.
Lloyd.
Yeah.
He's so resting.
Amen. He was an amazing man.
I get emotional when I think about him.
Yeah.
Lloyd approached me. They were setting up a company there called Swift Studios.
Swift before this, after
CDW.
Yes.
After CDW,
Yes.
instead of Swift,
Yes.
there were some Nigerians that came around and gave them money. I don't want to mention their names.
Oh, no. We don't need their names.
They gave them money and they set up Swift Studios. And they asked me to come and work for them as the executive producer.
Okay.
The unfortunate thing, though, was that during that period, Wig and I were already running around trying to see where we can get money, doing proposals, budgets, business plans, and all of that. And as I started that job with them,
that's with Swift.
With Swift, yes, a lot of things started coming through on the other end of
on
it.
the other end, okay.
And we approached Otumba Shibomi Balogun.
I thought you said you didn't want to mention names.
No, I must. These are the ones that are important.
This one must be mentioned.
Yes.
Okay, let me take a break now.
Okay.
We'll come back. Don't forget where you are.
Much.
We're taking a break now. We'll be back with you shortly. It's still Timeless Conversations, and I'm talking with my friend and brother, Remy Ogunpiton. So you were going to mention names of, or the name of someone who stood by you in that quest.
We approached, when we decided we wanted to set up a production company, we approached Shibomi Balogun, or Otumba Shibomi Balogun, who then, FCMB. But then he had a finance and security firm called City Securities.
Yeah, City Securities, that's true.
And he believed in the dream, and he gave us money, a lot of money, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds then in 1989.
It was a lot of money.
Yeah, and we took the money, and I think we did well. We set up a company called Solar Productions.
Solar Productions,
it was in Lupeju.
Yes. Town planning way.
Yeah, we had people like Olumide Ofere, Mike Afigo, Unwoso, plenty of the big company.
I know all of those guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know them now.
Yes.
Moses Ebere.
Yes.
All of them. They were all, and we had an amazing business, and we quickly established ourselves in the marketplace and did a lot of work and started to make money. But things fell apart.
How?
It's simple, and I think everybody can relate to it. If a business partnership is a marriage,
yes,
and this was not even a ordinary business marriage. This was a business marriage of family.
Yeah,
everybody on the board was family.
Yeah.
In fact, City Securities Limited then was represented by Bolaji Balogun. My father was on the board. Wiga's father was on the board. But the directors, they're not involved in the day-to-day running.
It's their running show.
You see, when two people who are meant to act as one have a different vision, the center can never hold.
It can't.
Whether it's in the business, whether it's in the home, whether it's any public institution, whether it's the president and the vice president.
Sure.
Once the vision diverts, it can't hold. And that's basically what happened. And apart from differences also, because division comes because of differences in approach, differences in ability, differences in skills, differences in the ability to manage funds.
Even in style.
Everything, yeah. And even differences in terms of who the clients prefer to work with. Maybe they prefer working with this person to this person. And all those things become convoluted. Jealousies come in, all kinds of things come in, and it becomes difficult for the center to hold. So after 5 years, I left. And for quite a period of time, almost like a year, I didn't know what to do. I knew that, I'm going to do work in production. I knew that.
Yeah.
And then I was again, God continues to send people along. And then I was again rescued by two gentlemen called, who then were running an advertising agency called Concept Unit. Larry Awukoya and Kayode Idowu.
Yes.
Who basically came to me and said, well, look, we've been working with you for a long time. We like the way you work. Da-di-da-di-da. We've noticed that you're no longer with Bega. What do you want to do? And I said, I want to set up a production company. And they said, fine. They're interested. And they put some money up, a substantial amount of money. And I looked at the whole thing. And of course, you tell your family, look, this is what I want to do now. I want to put money up, want to start a new business. And I remember my father said, no way, that you're not going to take their money without any of your own money in there. How much do you have? I told him, he said, no. He said, we're going to match them penny for penny. So that this time around, we have a hold. And that's what we did. So I was able to use some money I had. My father gave me a substantial amount of money and added it to what they put in. And we started Sharp Weisberg Media, Studio 77.
I remember that. I just wanted to hit you a little bit. Your disciplinarian father.
Yes.
Supported you.
Yes, he did.
I'm underlining it because we'll come back to it.
Yes, he supported me.
Yes.
And that was how we started Sharp Weisberg Media.
Yes.
Which I ran for 9 years. And later on sold my shares to, because by that time the company had become part of a bigger group called Integrated Marketing Services.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which was, it was used. So by the time I decided I wanted to go on my own 100%, when I sold my shares, it was a juicy bit of money.
Very good.
With some other businesses that I had done at that time, like the All Africa Games and everything, I started IBST till today.
What does IBST mean?
Integrated Broadcast Services and Technologies.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So congratulations on that roller coaster of a movement. Now, because that's the space you operate in, the production sector of the Nigerian media space appears to be growing, interestingly, at both a fast and slow pace. Fast because technology is moving fast, but slow because of peculiar Nigerian challenges. What do you think can bring us to par with other clients? And by other clients, I mean even other African countries, like South Africa, for instance. What do you think can bring us to par with that?
That's an interesting question because our sector is made up of various and very, 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 very diverse ingredients that make it a whole. If you look at our film sector, everybody will think that it's growing, that we're seeing a lot more of our movies on Netflix.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot more commissioning going on and things like that, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Because that's the perception.
Yes.
In our TV industry, broadcast, terrestrial, cable, OTT, and online, things are not moving so rapidly in terms of revenue.
Yes.
There are revenue challenges there. There are challenges in technology. And if you look at where we are and how broadcasting is done today, a lot of it is still in is all IP based.
Yes.
So we're dealing with the issues of technology. We're dealing with issues of how do we improve our quality. And to improve your quality, you need to access revenues. And for revenues to come, you need to have quality. So that one is like, which one, chicken or egg? And then we have what I talked about before, the movies, which everybody is talking about. You know, the government, oh, Nigeria, daddy, 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 and all of that. Oh, the fastest moving sector in Nigeria is all of that. And as I said, it's just a perception.
But they say perception is everything.
Yeah, it's just a perception, because what you have to ask yourself is that what is it doing to the country as a whole, economically, socially, and all of those things? Is it really having an impact? And for me, I think that we're not really making that impact yet. The challenges are multifarious, but I think a lot of it has to do with the enabling environment, which is one. It has to do with access and education. And then it has also to do with the people who actually are in control of the industry.
Okay.
If we look at a lot of the people that are in control of the industry and have made investments in the industry, the question is, who are they? Where do they come from? You know, what is their stake?
What's their long-term goal?
So all these things, when you add them all together, the position that I have taken is that you can't, if you try to change everything, you can't change it.
Yeah.
One person can't do it.
No way.
So I just figured that the only way to really address this is decide where you want to play. Decide, do I want to play here? Do I want to play here? Or do I want to play defense? Do I want to play midfield? Do I want to play attack, left or right? Decide where you're going to play, and then carve out a role for yourself and try to become the best at it. And through that, will also influence people that come into contact with you. Try to create revenues and opportunities in the areas where you can influence. Because, Nico, I'll be honest with you, I get confused a lot about Nigeria and the direction, especially even in our own industry. Yes. Because, you know, we can't isolate ourselves from everything that's going on around us. So that worries me. So that question is something that is an ongoing discussion in my mind.
Yes.
And at times the answers and the solutions change from day to day as the environment and as the equation changes, as it always does.
Yes, it must. It has to remain dynamic.
Yeah, so, you know, you've got to, if you're a computer geek, you'll understand what DHCP means when you're trying to network. DHCP means that it's on a dynamic frequency. So if it goes up, you go up with it. If it comes down, you come down with it.
But then you must remain consistent.
Yeah, but as long as there's as long as there's data coming through, if it is good, it will be fast. If it is slow, you'll still be able to access, but it will be.
But then you see, the consistency I even mean is, I know this is not to patronize you. I know that your love for technology and innovation has been always at the forefront and the background of your engagements. So in your company, in your productions, we see a lot of that.
Yes.
And that love, for me, is the consistency.
Yeah, okay.
That can drive the engagement. So for you...
Yeah, you know what? You know, like, really, you know what? The way I thought about it really is that, you know, for me, the focus has always been on value. We work in a very, very competitive environment because I work in the private, all my clients are in the private sector. And a lot of those clients are driven by institutional values in terms of quality, excellence, what they want for themselves, how they want their brands to be perceived and all of those things. So a lot of things that one does is focused on value. So the equipment, the personnel, the manner you run your business, the style, and all of those things are just a means to an end.
Yeah.
So technology is just one of the legs of ensuring that you deliver value. But whatever is required to deliver value is something that I always try to ensure is contained in our offering, in our product offering, because a lot of people say Nigerian business, man no man. Yeah, fine. But when man no day go, when the man has gone,
Yes.
what are you going to do? So the only thing that is sustainable is value.
Is value.
So that's just the way I look at it.
Thank you, Remy. We'll take another break and resume our conversation.
Wow.
Please stay tuned. All right, welcome back to our program. Remy Ogunpito is still my guest, and we just during the break we were saying he'd never been interviewed like this before, and I said, well, it's, like they say, it's the person who knows you that knows what to ask you now, and don't be too humble. I know who you are, don't I? I do now. I do. Now, value is the soul and the heart of the business that you run. If you deliver good value, then your clients will come back. If the value is bad, they take a hike. Now, you don't want them to take a hike. However, in rating the media industry in the country, what would you like to place your finger on as what can improve our industry?
People.
In what sense?
People. We've got to train people. We've got to invest in people. We've got to expose our people. We've got to support our people. We've got to grow them, talent, in knowledge, in their networking skills and everything. You know, we talk about technology all the time. Technology is technology. Garbage in, garbage out. So give anybody, people talk about DOPs and cameramen. They talk about all these kinds of people. But if you give, I always, this analogy is that give a 60,000 pound camera to a cameraman that's not trained, and give a $5,000 cameraman to a DOP who has been trained and has experience and has exposure, and tell them to go and shoot the same thing. The guy with the $5,000 camera who is trained and has exposure will shoot you something better than the guy that had the 60.
Very true.
Yeah?
Very true.
Yeah. So it's all about people. I think that we don't invest enough in our people. I think business owners take people for granted. And I get it all the time. They say, look, if we train people, they will just go, they will come, they will land, I think that's all bunkum and rubbish. You know, in life, when you invest in other people, it will come back to you.
It does.
Whether they leave you,
they've got to leave.
Doesn't matter. But what you are doing is that you are feeding an industry with people who are talented, who have knowledge, and they're coming from you.
And they will impact others.
They will impact others. And that impact they have on others will come back and impact you.
Sure.
So that is a very critical area. I think in terms of technology and all of those things, all that is money.
Okay.
If you have the money, you can buy it. But I think it's people. People.
Yes, you asked me what areas I wanted to cover, and I said, don't worry, I'll ask you any question. You reserve the right to answer or refuse. Now, you said your dad was a politician.
Yes.
Are you a politician?
No way.
Why?
No, I'm not going to answer that question. Kai, politics, no.
Okay.
Ọlọ́run má jẹ́. Yes.
Now, how do we solve the problem of low voter turnout in our country?
I vote.
You vote?
I vote.
You do?
Yeah, but just I will not be a politician.
Okay, very good. So then let's expand the question so that you can answer it. Let's look at it this way. How can we get more Nigerians involved in politics, especially the younger one? And by involvement, I mean them voting, I mean them participating in the process of canvassing for votes, of changing the society.
That sounds like a complex question, but it's actually very, very simple. Until we show that our people have a stake in government, in the decisions that are made by government, that those things are done in their own interest, you will always continue to have low public turnout during voting, because there is no trust and there's no belief and there's no validity in the minds of Nigerians about the system being operated in their interest.
How do we show that?
By ensuring that the things that matter will start to change it, by showing that there's actually, truly, there's justice in the system. By showing that everybody is accountable to the law, that nobody is above the law. By showing that it's only the best people that will run this country. Merit.
Yes.
By ensuring that if you are running government, you are accountable. Those are the things. Okay. They're very, very simple, actually. By showing that that government cares about the education of the child of somebody who is poor, the hospitals that they go to. As it is now, the majority of Nigerians don't believe they have a stake in the country. The people that are fighting for a stake in the country are the politicians and the people that identify with them. And of course, the elite ruling class who have invested money and are working to try to keep their businesses going, their manufacturing plants, their banks, the retail shops, the restaurants.
Yes.
They're the people that have that seem to have a stake, because things that happen around them impact them. But the average Nigerian believes that no matter what impacts them, they can't change it.
They can't change it.
So that's why they don't bother to vote.
How do we achieve that change?
Lincoln, it's a very interesting question, but I used to be very idealistic about all these things, and I used to be very vocal. And I came to the conclusion that we're in a big ocean of, can I say, rishi. And that I, as Remi Ogunpiton, the only way I can impact and do anything is within my sphere of influence, within the people that I relate with, that I do business with.
Spot on.
We talked about people before and training and everything. Do you know, because I have staff over the years. I have staff that have worked with me. I've had a driver that worked with me for 23 years. From the time I was at Solar.
Yeah.
And he's retired now.
Yeah.
I have people that worked with me for 7 years, 8 years, 10 years. I have 3 of my staff. I know that, because that was the way I was exposed and I was gifted. So when I have money, I send them, go to America, go to NAB, go to Dubai, go to CAPSAT, go to this, go and attend this course, go and do this. Some of them have gone, some of them have left.
Yeah.
Many of them, one of them that has left was a young man that I found in Computer Village. He worked with me for many years. And I originally brought him to come and do cabling for me, cabling. But after 7 years, he left, set up his own production company, and he's doing amazingly well.
Fantastic.
You know, so we have the ability to influence people around us. We have the ability to uplift people around us, and I believe that, you know, when we do that, the more people we uplift, the more people we expose, the more people we teach, the more people we mentor.
Yeah.
When they look at us, they will see that these are the principles, these are the values that have made this man what he is. And hopefully they will emulate us, imbibe some of those values, and also teach other people.
Teach other people.
So hopefully to be like a ripple.
Okay.
But we need a lot of people doing that. A lot of people doing that. A lot of people able to stand up, for instance, and say that there's certain things they won't accept.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And
principle.
And for you to get to that level in this country where you are saying that there's certain things you don't accept and you be principled, you know, the tendency is that you must have either been through a lot and you are not comfortable to be able to say, I'm not going to take it. Because you can't ask a man to be principled and not steal and not take an orange you put on the table there who has not eaten for 1 week.
Well, he could be. It could be.
It could be.
Yeah.
He could resist it. He could say, I want it. Could I? But the tendency is that most Nigerians, they don't have. They are in need. They are in want. So they take shortcuts. Because at the top, you don't get dealt with if you take a shortcut. So who am I not to take a shortcut?
So we need to strengthen our institutions, right? Institutions like the police, like judiciary, where we have to. Yes.
We know now. We say this all the time. Now.
Yes.
We all know it, but.
But then we have to keep saying it so that it can be relevant. We have to. Change does not come when we keep quiet.
People in leadership don't know that.
Well, some of us will get into leadership too and not change from what we used to be. Well, that's the truth.
Well, you know, the thing is that individual change can change yourself, can change you, can change your life. But what we're talking about is a change for a country of over 200 million people.
Yes.
And that's something that when I think about it, I won't lie to you, it baffles me how you do it all. Because I ask myself, how do you galvanize into a cohesive force of the same power, the same thought, the same vision, the same drive? 200 million people or so of different interests, of different backgrounds.
It's leadership.
It's
leadership.
Well,
yeah, even from your own analogy, it's leadership. Yeah. It's if they start in their own spheres.
Yes.
Right. Then others will emulate. Yeah. They will produce people and all that. And some of those people will get into that position of leadership.
I think at times when we look at leadership as being from the top down, at times leadership can be from bottom up.
It actually should be from bottom up, so that when you find yourself at the very top, you already are known for something. That's it. You're known for something.
But it can be very disquieting.
Yeah, well, it can be. We're going to take another break now. Don't worry, it won't be too long. We'll be back shortly. Thank you. Welcome back to the program, where we're talking to none other than Remy Ogunpitan. Now, Remy, in the last 3 or 4 decades, about 4 decades now, almost 4 decades, you've been doing business in Nigeria, you've worked in this same industry, you've led or headed, and then you have founded, right, companies that deal with production. What's that experience been like for you?
If I died and I had the choice of coming back again, I don't think I would have changed. I don't think I'll change my.
You will come back and do the same thing.
Again, I'll do the same thing.
Okay,
again.
fine. So let's start being specific about your experience. For instance, traveling around the country as a result of working. What was that like?
Okay, let me tell you. It's been interesting. When I came back to Nigeria,
yes,
the 1980, I was in Kano. What I did was I bought myself a Volkswagen bus, a Kombi bus.
A bus?
Yes.
So we have that in common.
Yeah, and I equipped it with a bed, a kerosene fridge, a kerosene cooker.
Are you kidding?
And I spent 1 year traveling around Nigeria.
You did that?
Yes, I did, yes. My first 1 year back in the country. There was nowhere I didn't go to. There was nowhere I didn't go to. And in some places, I would spend a week or 2 weeks. I remember I spent 2 weeks in Boko.
Really?
Yeah, because I met this girl and I thought I was in love with her, but I had to move. But there was nowhere I didn't go to. From Sokoto
so
to
you left the love back in
Boko. I moved, from Sokoto to Potiskum to Nguru to Biu to Daura, Dambata, Adeja,
just driving.
Yola, Guzo, Mubi, yes. Right down to Miduyo, Kafancha, Funtwa, Adeja, Guzo, Kafancha, Kontagora,
all by
Shendam, Jos, yeah. And I did that for about 11 years, almost a year. And it was amazing.
And your parents left you to do that?
Yes, now. There was no,
well, you were a full-grown adult.
And apart from that, Nigeria wasn't stressed now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was still armed robbery, but it was not like the way it was now. You could move. You could drive at night.
Yeah, that's true.
You could drive at night.
And police were friendlier.
Yes. You could get somewhere, park and sleep and wake up in the morning and the villagers will come out and say, well, okay, look, you want food? Nigeria was like that. Now, it's not so much like that.
Yeah.
We travel a lot now. Our production crews today in Nigeria, when we travel to locations outside of, let's just say Ibadan, Abeokuta, but the minute we're going to Ilorin, Akure, Benin, all those places we normally go by road. We go with police escort.
No.
Yes, we do.
But you didn't need that in 1984?
No, it didn't. Even when we were doing productions where we were traveling on the road with things like Benson and Edge's Golden Tones, the road shows, when we were doing Rothman's Groove, the road shows and things like that, Peak Talent Show, Glow Soccer Academy, all of those things. We used to travel by road. We didn't used to go with police now. But now you do.
You do.
Some of the clients will not even allow you to travel without them. I mean, we work for flour mills, we work for a lot of the oil companies. You can't go anywhere without security.
Without police?
Yeah, you can't.
These days?
Yes, you can't. It's impossible.
Yeah. What's that like for you? Someone who's traveled all by himself.
Yeah.
And now needing police escort to
it's just part of the mix now. These things, they become normalized. So you don't see, what happens is that over a period of time, things that you're not used to, you now have to start putting them in place. And after a while, they become normalized. So you don't even see it as being unusual. You see it as being just part of.
Just part of.
Yeah. Like our international clients that we work with.
Yes.
I'm not going to mention their names, but there's not one of them that comes into this country without security devices, which maps and tracks their every single movement, right up to where they are, with an accuracy of 25 meters. They carry it. It's not a phone, it's not anything, but a lot of people don't know it, but it will be on them. So that if anything happens, they can be tracked. So that is there. In terms of work, you know, liaison with Nigerians and getting things done. It's a bit more challenging because Nigerians are wiser. They know that a lot of these things that people do, you want to use a place, you want to use somebody's shop, you want to shoot in a location, they understand that what we're doing, we're being paid for it and we make money from it. They're smart. Social media, live TV, cable TV has made everybody understand.
Made them aware.
Yeah. So, you know, they will cooperate with you, but, you know, these days you need to drop something. We're shooting something in the market on the 3rd of February. We have to pay 250,000 naira to enter the market.
I was going to ask that.
Yeah.
How do you acquire your sites and locations?
Yeah.
What's been like?
We pay.
And then even shooting within communities.
Yeah, communities are easier because the shooting within communities, what you tend to do is that you identify who the key leaders are within that community, whether it's a traditional Oba or a chief or whatever, identify them, tell them what you want to do. At times, some of the things we want to do is actually to their advantage.
Yes.
And when it is, you know,
they might even end up being the ones entertaining you.
They'll cooperate and you know, we're Africans and we're Nigerians and we have a culture, you know, which is not this is not a corruption culture.
No.
But this is a culture of you show respect.
Yes.
I accommodate you. I thank you.
Yes. That's
so
so the experience has been a mixed one.
Yeah, it's mixed, but nothing nasty, nothing horrible.
Okay.
You know, something
in the last 3-4
No, you can always
get over that.
Yeah, walk over it. Yeah. We've never had anything nasty like that.
So finally, let me ask you, you did some tourism content, some of which you even graciously passed to us and we're using. What inspired that? Was it that your...
Yes, it was.
1980,
yeah.
80-81?
Yeah, it was. And the fact is this, is that, you know what?
Road trip. You did a road trip.
Yeah, road trip, yes. Yeah.
And that's what opened your mind up to, I need to
And it still keeps on, and my mind still keeps on getting opened up every day. You know, we've had the opportunity of traveling around Nigeria. To so many places, and at times some very obscure places. And the more that you travel, the more you see, number one, how beautiful we are as a people. The average Nigerian that you see in Lagos that is hustling is not your typical Nigerian. When you go to some of these obscure, remote areas, and you see the land, you see the topography, you see the potential of the opportunity that there is, you start to say to yourself that I need to do something about this. And that was what inspired us basically starting to put that kind of content together, because we just felt that, well, look, it's our country. Yeah, there's a lot that is wrong with it, but we still have one or two things that we're proud about. And at least if we can't get there, let's show people the beauty of Nigeria. When I traveled around Nigeria around 1980, in Jos, in places in Jos like Shendam and all of those things, then I used to go into, they have a lot of tin mines there, which were then being run by expatriates.
Yes.
And most of the tin mines then had orchards, they had gardens. I used to go into those orchards and I used to pick fresh strawberries, blackcurrant, pomegranate, apple, peaches. But now, you know, you can't do that. But the thing is that we are able to do those things if we put our mind to it.
But they're in, was that in Jos now? They're in Plateau?
Yeah,
they
Plateau.
have started cultivating strawberries on a large commercial scale.
But then it wasn't a big deal. It was everywhere. You just pick strawberries, you pick blackberries, you pick blackcurrant, anything that you want, you just pick it.
Yeah.
You know, those days you go onto the farm, you give them like, I don't know how much you give them like about 20 naira. And then you can just take.
That's a lot of money. Maybe like 2 naira.
I don't know. Maybe about 2 naira, or maybe 1 naira or 50 kobo. You just go and you pick everything that you want to pick, and you go.
When you go.
Yeah.
So now, so that's like your own way of giving back to society?
No.
The tourism content?
No, it's not. I think you get to a stage, you need to give back.
Yeah.
So what I try to do now is I try to give my services free of charge to churches, for instance, who want to do media training, to universities.
Okay.
We're doing something now with NIJ, Nigerian Institute of Journalism, where every Saturday they come across to our facilities and we give our time and our equipment to train their students in the area of broadcasting and production. There are other things that one is doing, but what I've found is that the only way I can give back, and I feel very, very satisfied about it, is to try and improve what is going on in our industry, because there's so much. There's still so much to do.
I want you to give back.
Okay.
To us. Okay. Let's work together.
Okay.
On a documentary.
Okay.
You know, on the bridge when you are coming towards the island.
Yeah.
You know, Okobaba.
Makoko.
The timber.
Yes.
I'd like us to do.
You know the funny thing.
A documentary on that, because you know there's a period that they will bring so much of the timber.
We discussed this.
And it will be all over the place.
We discussed this in a meeting.
Yeah.
About 2 weeks ago in our office.
And we'll go all the way to
Ondo.
Ondo, Kitipupa.
Where they now build the raft.
Exactly.
And then ship it down.
And if possible, follow the raft.
Who's going to follow them? Me and you?
No, follow. We don't have to be the ones.
We have big belly now. So
yes, we have underlying. We have underlying issues. Even the children will say, "Hey, Daddy, where are you going?" but let's do that together.
No, I would love to do that, because you know that would be an amazing.
It's a good way, and it will be something we'll put in the public space.
An amazing film.
Right, to tell the story of the timber industry.
Okay. I'll take your offer up on that.
Yes,
we'll do it as a joint production.
Yes, let's do it together. Okay. Let's merge forces.
Yeah.
Right, write scripts and all that. I can voice.
We can put all those young boys to. You can go get this our young guy on the camera.
Yes. To shoot and all that.
You live on the raft for 2 weeks, because that's how long it takes for them to.
It takes 2 weeks. Yes, I know.
You'll be eating on the raft, sleeping on the raft.
Yes.
Just take plenty of mosquito repellent.
Yes, that's it. It will be good. It will be an experience for them. And worst case scenario, we can train somebody on the raft that can position the camera and all that.
No, they have to go with them.
Exactly. That's it. Anyway, it's been nice talking to Remy. Remy, we know each other. We know how far we've been together. And I'm just so amazed at your accomplishment. I'm not any way flattering you. You know that. We don't flatter. But just commending your great work, and thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so
and we thank God too.
Yes. So till we have another episode of Timeless Conversations. It's been Remy Ogunpitan as my guest today. Thank you all for watching.
Did you know that another meaning for the term PhD is pull her down? It's often said that women do not support one another, hence the term PhD. But we're here to weigh in on that argument and to ask if the mere existence of that term is derogatory in itself. I have the women in the lounge, Ebun Olatoye. I know, I always call you Ebun Olatoye because I knew you as a writer and I was in love with you as a writer. But you are Ebun Feludu.
Yes, don't let my husband catch you.
Yes, I know, right? Ebun is a media consultant and a serial entrepreneur. Right now, she's in love with coconuts, and I think this is where we're going to bond. She runs a coconut factory, and they make all sorts, with her children. And that's beautiful. That's amazing.
Thank
We also
you.
have Mrs. Ifoma Idigbe. She's a finance and HR consultant, analyst, really. And she has a foundation called the Boys to Men Foundation. That in itself is worth double toiles, because in a world where we're talking about women supporting women, which is great, we have women who have said there's a gap. We're supporting women to the detriment of the men,
Yes,
to the detriment of the boys.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
for that reason, we salute you, Mel.
And she's Mama Boys.
As a Mama Boys, I'm super grateful.
She understands these things. Of course, Adesoa Oyenokwe is here, publisher at TW Magazine and producer. She's the life of the party, always. And our guests. Hello, Eno Essien.
Hi.
Eno is very interesting. Eno recovers stolen vehicles.
Wow.
She has a vehicle tracking company, and she also, there's one thing that I'm missing. Eno she runs a fleet management, so she does fleet management. So you're in a field that is predominantly male, but it looks like you're doing well. We're going to talk about that some more. I'm Omoye Uzamire. I'm an actor and a producer. I like to throw around that I studied law, just so people won't think that, this is just acting. Yeah. But really, wherever there's performance and production, you'll find me. Whether it's writing, behind the scenes, set, props, but performance and production, that's me. Anyway, we're here at TW Conversations. We'll be right back.
Actually, I just wonder, though, whether, as we are gathered here, and I think we are women, in all honesty...
You think we're women?
I do. Honestly, from my in all honesty, can we stand up and say women don't really support women?
I wouldn't say that. I think that there's always a lot of focus on what women do. So if a woman does something, look at Serena Williams, for example, yelling at the umpire. They doctor points, they doctor game. Men do that all the time. What was John McEnroe, So it's not a new thing. But when women are doing things, there's a spotlight that's put on it. So if a woman doesn't support a woman, a lot of noise is made about it. Men are more virulent in their attacks than women can ever be. They're hard business people. They take advantage. So I think it's unfair to say that. But I also do think that women sometimes feel insecure when they're in position. And so they don't respond in a way that you might expect them to respond. But I don't think it has anything to do with women not supporting women per se.
So my question is, where did this come from in the first place? Where did that start from? There has to be, they say there's no smoke without fire.
It's true.
So is it that women are very hard on themselves? I mean, if as a woman, there's a younger girl that I'm mentoring. I said, did I say as a woman? As a woman. And I'd have someone who I'm mentoring. I'll be hard on her because I want her to be better. I see potential in her.
Absolutely.
So that could be another way to look at it. We feel that women are hard on one another because they want them to be better.
Yeah, but
well,
are you?
I think I would phrase it this way. I think successful women support each other. Successful women wants a successful man wants the other woman to do very well. That's what I see. I find that the women who bring the other women down are women who don't really have it going very well for them. So maybe it's a bit of envy, but successful women support women. So it's not totally women don't support each other. I believe that successful women support fellow successful women.
I don't know. I said this also, I think we're having a chat on Sunday. I said, I don't think that you can take
Having a chat where?
on Sunday, weren't we?
Okay.
You can't take one brushstroke and take it for all women.
Right.
Every woman is an individual. I hear people say to me, oh, in this women's organization, they're this way towards women or this way towards people.
I can't even say the names of some organizations.
No, I won't do that. And I belong to so many women's organizations, and I believe that what you take out of a women's organization is what you put in. And so as a woman, you have to sort of decide. You know, you need to sort of make a conscious decision about what you want to be to other women or men or children or aged people. You know, so this is no different.
thing.
Yeah. So in our family, we have a coconut processing company, and we have an HR policy to employ 80% women. It's deliberate. It's on purpose.
Is it because women are better workers? I mean, I don't know.
Women
or just
are,
want to help women?
Number one, women are great workers. Number two, in that particular community, there's a lot of poverty. Women are left at home whilst the men go out to work. You know, and so that makes a difference. And number three, you know, I was saying to you earlier that you can be a movie producer and decide specifically that I think darker-skinned actors are marginalized. Therefore, I am going to employ 80% actors as an actor. You know, dark-skinned actors, just so I can mind that gap and
but there's also money
mindfully
matter in all of
support.
this.
So you have to mindfully support.
You know, it also depends on what you're bringing in these people for. Because you're saying women are better workers. For your experience, in my own field, I would say the men are better workers. I prefer,
technical.
yes, it's technical. So I prefer to work with the men than the women.
So, are you saying women can't do technical things?
Women can, but you know, I'm speaking from a personal experience. The women,
Share.
they go straight to the point.
It's so funny because I think different people have different experiences when it comes to that. And to speak to the point you made about successful women supporting each other, you've already made it. They will, so what are they, you know, you're just like a peer group.
Yes.
So I think it's more critical helping other women get to that point where you're now all friends. Because if I'm successful, you're successful, there's no pulling me down.
No, okay. Let me tell you, I must bring it back here because I know Ifeoma was one of the founding members and is the chairperson, of WIMBIZ, a body that is supporting women and getting women up. But I find most of the young girls complaining that the older women just don't want to help them.
That was my experience with
WIMBIZ?
Yes,
So
you
the
know,
person you're looking
not trying
for.
to pull them down. I mean, when I started business, I went for a couple of their events, but I noticed that the younger ones, I didn't have a chance there. You know, it was more like
Can I ask you this?
What were you looking for?
What did you want?
I wanted
This is what
when you
you attended.
attended.
What sort of support precisely did you want?
One of the things that got me into business was reading Mrs. Awosika's story, you know, and I thought, oh, this is a strong woman. This is how she started and this is where she is. You know, let me join that organization and probably get the support. You know, someone who would say to me, oh, you can
So
do
you
it.
went there looking for a
Yes, I went there
what
looking for a pool for support, but I didn't get
Let me
that.
just address that. When WIMBIZ started, what we wanted to be was a catalyst. A place where professional women, whether entrepreneurs or in the corporate world, could meet and share ideas. Now, it became something else because we realized that there was no organization that like WIMBIZ. So a lot of women wanted to be a part of it. We were not even going to be a membership organization. It came about because people wanted to be a part of the body. And so if you're expecting certain... We have mentoring. Mentoring it was something we wanted to do, but we started it because a lot of women said they wanted mentors. And so we have a mentoring program and women are attached. But if you're sitting there, how does, for example, Ibuku know that you want to talk to her about something? So it goes to the question of what is it you want in the organization? You know, and what was the organization set up to do? A lot of people have got a lot out of WIMBIZ because they're very clear about what they want. And when they come in as members, they go straight for it.
So that's the question, because you know what I also get here, I think Ebo is going to respond to that. What I hear people say is that maybe they select those that they want to be their mentors. So you are saying
Listen,
that
I have, from the beginning of WIMBIZ, I have covered WIMBIZ from my days, you know, in True Love magazine, and I can remember very clearly, this is a space of women supporting women. 10th anniversary of WIMBIZ, Auntie Adeswa held my hand, took me in, and we worked together on the PR documentary special edition for WIMBIZ 10th anniversary celebrations. You can't really go to an organization like WIMBIZ or any other organization like that and say, okay, I want to become best friends with this person. I always say to my mentees, go online, watch every single video that mentor of yours has ever given. You would have found 90% of the sort of values that they would give you as a mentor. And then go, it's not everyone is accessible.
Okay,
it's just not humanly possible.
I got to remember that age also was a factor for me, because here is a little 24, 25 in the middle of, in the midst of 40, 50, 60-year-old women. You know, your voice, you don't really have a voice at that point. You know, so for me, I got lost in between.
So what could you have done differently?
Exactly. We were all in our 40s when we started.
It's at that time.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
you know, but yeah,
And
you're in the your 40s, and here is a 24-year-old little girl who has just come in trying to
Tell
get
me,
into.
what did they do wrong that didn't you
No.
Little girl, why?
Well, you're starting. Maybe if someone had, maybe if it was a bit more personal. Yes, there were so many people. Maybe if it was a bit more personal to get to know everyone that came. Because I remember then, when it happened then, I had to drop my complimentary card. We were asked to drop our complimentary card in a basket. And I thought they would probably reach out to everyone. So maybe if I got that, you know, so I was lost somewhere.
We have people from 500 to 1,000 at our conferences.
Yes,
so if
I
people
know.
drop 1,000 or 5,000.
Because recently I went for an event and I saw Chief Akonde, Mrs. Nika Akonde, you know, and I just watched her. I got up, took my